Hi everyone. So this is a video about how to put together your tone maker if you play clarinet or saxophone, and how to make a first sound, how to put it in your mouth and do the right thing to make a sound. So the first thing we need to go over is how to get the reed in and out of its package without hurting it. So reeds come in these little plastic containers, and they all have a little place where you can grab the reed and pull it out. Now when you go to put it back, make sure you only put it back in as far as the end of the case. Don't shove it all the way in, because then you won't get it back out and you might break the tip of it. Other kinds of cases, you're going to put the thicker end of the reed in to kind of pry it apart, and then it folds in like a fan. But just be very careful and make sure you don't put it in so far that you can't get it back out. So let's take a look at the reed. It is super thin as a piece of paper on one end, so you want to try not to ever touch that end of the reed. The other end, thankfully, is nice and thick and sturdy, and you can grab it and hold it and not hurt it at all. It also has a curvy side, and then it has a flat side that usually has some words on the flat side. So for reeds to work well and make a good sound, they need to be wet. So you could just get a little cup of water, stick it in there and let it soak. Or you can put it in your mouth and suck on it and let your spit get it wet. So I say suck on it like it's a expensive, delicate lollipop. Don't go chewing on it or anything. Just see if you can get, spit all over the reed so that it's nice and wet. So I usually stick it in my mouth while I'm putting the rest of the instrument together, but you won't understand me, so I'm going to put it down. So the next thing we're going to do is find your mouthpiece and ligature. And if you play saxophone, it looks a tiny bit different. It looks like this. It doesn't have any cork on the end. So you're going to take the ligature off and set it aside and just have your mouthpiece by itself. So clarinets, you're going to take your mouthpiece and your barrel, and you're going to push and kind of twist and push them together. If it's really easy, you're putting it in the wrong end. It needs to go in the skinny end of the barrel. Okay. Saxophones, you're going to take your mouthpiece and your neck. You're going to hold your neck like this, not down here where it's much more bendable and you could bend it and break it, but over here where there's less keys to grab. And you're going to take your mouthpiece and twist and push it on there. Your mouthpiece has a hole in it, and it needs to point the same way as the hole in your neck. Okay, so it looks like a goose a little bit. And if I turn it this way, you can see the hole in the neck and the hole in the mouthpiece at the same time. Okay, then we're going to take our reed again and your mouthpiece. And this is the same for saxophone and clarinet, so I'm just going to do it on the clarinet. You take the flat part of the reed and the flat part of the mouthpiece, and you put them up against each other. So you're covering that hole in the mouthpiece with the reed. It doesn't go in there. Some kids want to stick it in there. It does not go in there. It covers up the hole. And the tip of the reed is going to just be below the tip of the mouthpiece, like that. Okay? Then you use the ligature to hold the reed on. So you slip the ligature down over the reed and the mouthpiece. Actually, let me see if I can do that better so you can see. You slip it down over the mouthpiece and the reed, being careful not to chip the reed. And then you tighten the screws just a little. It doesn't have to be super tight. Okay? And then you see the screws are over the reed. Okay? Some kids put them on backwards or on the side, but the ligature goes with the screws right over the reed like this. Okay, now this is all put together. This is exactly what it should look like. And you'll notice that the part of the ligature, it does not close all the way, does not come all the way together. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, now, if you are having trouble getting your ligature to go on your mouthpiece, you might be doing it upside down. Okay, so the ligature has a skinnier end and a wider end. And so you have to put it wide end down, and it goes over the reed wide end down. If you're doing it wrong, I say it makes a cone of shame, like dogs that have the cone from the vet. So that means you've got it upside down. So you just have to turn it over and let the wide end go down first. Okay? Okay. Once you have your reed on your mouthpiece and your ligature is on, holding it in place for you, I want you to look and see where the reed starts to touch the mouthpiece, because right at the tip, they're not touching at all, right? There's a little bit of space in between. So right about there is where the reed starts to touch the mouthpiece. That's how far in your mouth it's going to go. So you could actually, if I was with you, I would draw a little line right there with my pencil. And then I would put my thumb up to that line, and then that's how far in your mouth it's going to go. Not very far. You really only put about this much of your mouthpiece into your mouth. Okay? So then you're ready to put it in your mouth. So you open your mouth, and your top teeth are going to touch the top of the mouthpiece like this. Okay? And they're really attached. You're really pushing your mouthpiece up against those top teeth. Okay? Then your bottom part of your mouth, your lip is going to go over your teeth a little bit. Okay? And then your lip goes on the reed, not your teeth. If you put your teeth on the reed, it's going to make this horrible high squeaky sound that nobody likes. Okay? So teeth on the top, lip on the reed. And now you can see I'm having a conversation with you out the corner of my mouth, right? So those corners that can open, that's how you're going to breathe in so that you have lots of air to blow. So I'm going to put it in my mouth again, teeth on the top, lip on the reed, and then I'm going to breathe with my corners and then close around it and blow through the mouthpiece. Listen. So that's the sound you're going for with the clarinet. I'll do it again. Teeth on the top, lip on the reed. Now, if it's not working for you, you might have it pointing too far out. You might have it pointing too far down. You might be squeezing too hard. You might not be squeezing hard enough. You might not be taking a big enough breath and not blowing hard enough. So those are all things you're going to try and see if it makes it better. And see what you can do to finally get this sound. Okay, on the saxophone, it's the same thing. Teeth on the top, lip on the reed, and then blow. Okay, then in your lesson this week, I had you say 2, 2, 2, 2. Say it with me. 2, 2, 2, 2. Then I asked you to whisper it. Ready? Take a deep breath and whisper it. Very good. Then you're going to whisper it through the mouthpiece and reed. It sounds like this. And see how my chin is nice and flat and pointed at the ground? Then I'm going to blow a little harder while I'm saying 2, and it's going to sound like this. And my tongue is very quickly tapping the reed. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so again, teeth on the top, lip on the reed, deep breath. Okay, now I know that's not the most beautiful sound in the world, but If you can make that sound, then next time when we put it on the instrument, or this one on the saxophone, it will make a nice sound and we'll start playing songs. So take some time, keep trying, watch this video over and over, and you will get it. Thanks.